Hey, a lot of the no fun, cruddy symptoms that you might be feeling on a low carb or a ketogenic diet can be very easily explained. I'm talking about the flu-like symptoms, I'm talking about the lightheadedness, sometimes the fatigue, even the inability to really get a good muscle contraction when you're working out. They're all easily explained, but I have to go into a little bit of detail with the science and some physiology to truly help you understand what you can do to fix these issues. Hey, I'm DeLauer, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. New videos coming out every single Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. And if you haven't already, please hit that little bell icon so you can turn on notifications to know whenever I go live. All right, so what I want to talk about today is the electrolytes. Now, I'm not talking about just adding sodium to all your meals and adding just specific minerals. I'm talking about a true balance of honest minerals that are coming from whole foods. So I'm going to give you the 3 best foods that you can start consuming to get a full spectrum of good, healthy sodium and other minerals. And I'm not talking about just adding salt again. I'm talking about what you can do when you go to the grocery store and you're sourcing the food that you should be eating for your ketogenic or your low carb lifestyle. But first off, let's explain what happens within the body and why you might be feeling the way you're feeling. You see, whenever you go on a low carb diet or a ketogenic diet, your insulin levels are reduced. And when your insulin levels are reduced, what happens is your kidneys are then triggered to expel a lot of sodium. And when the kidneys expel a lot of sodium, they also expel water along with it. And when they expel water, they expel a lot of other minerals. And in case you didn't realize, sodium is very, very important. In fact, even recently, there have been studies that are showing that sodium is not the culprit when it comes down to blood pressure issues. There are a lot of other things that are affecting that. So sodium, no longer bad, but bad sodium still exists. And I'll get to that in a second. So when you're talking about how sodium works within the body, it's sending electrical signals. So if your electrical system is out of whack, it's like you have a short. And if you have a short circuit in your body, it would make sense that you'd feel a little bit fatigued or your body just wouldn't function in a normal way. So a lot of people advocate for adding salt to your food on a ketogenic diet, and I do that too, but I think it's best to get it from whole food sources. So let's get into it. Hey, but before I get into the first food that I recommend, I want to share something that I'm super excited about. So by now, a lot of you guys know that I'm an owner in PureThrive. So what I'm super excited about this month is that Onnit has actually featured PureThrive in their keto box. So Onnit's keto box every month gives you a new keto food that you can try out. All kinds of different things in there that you can get a different taste of every single month. It's honestly a really, really cool, unbiased approach to the ketogenic lifestyle. So there's not one particular thing that they favor more than the others. But the cool thing is, this month, I'm actually featured in it with my product that I formulated, that I created, that I have a patent on. So I am super, super excited. So I encourage you guys, please, just out of support for this channel, to check out the Onnit Keto Box. You know that Onnit's a good company. You know that they've been around for a long time. And the fact that they are supporting my brand and supporting my product that I formulated, I am super, super excited about. So I'm excited to share this. So make sure that you check that out in the link below in the description after you watch the remainder of this video, where you can get some serious value and some serious science dropped on you. So make sure you check out the Onnit Keto Box below. Thanks guys, thanks Onnit. The first one that I want to talk about is going to be shellfish. Now shellfish and shrimp and things like that are some of the naturally highest sources of sodium that you could ever find. And here's the reason behind it. When we look at how shellfish are actually living, they're living close to the bottom of the ocean, which means they're eating nutrients that are super high in minerals coming from the ocean floor. See, ordinarily we'd get our minerals from the soil, but the problem is, up on land, we've depleted our soil so much that we don't have a lot of those minerals anymore. But when we look at the ocean floor, a lot of those minerals are still there. That's why sea salt is said to be so good. But in this case, you're going right to the source. Now this means you're getting a full spectrum of minerals. So sure, you're high in sodium, but you're also getting all the other ones you need to balance sodium out. You see, if you just add a lot of sodium to one thing, what's going to end up happening is you're going to be in a situation where you're out of balance. You have more sodium than you do potassium, or more sodium than you do magnesium. And this is just as bad as being depleted in all your electrolytes to begin with. And you might think that you can just add iodized salt, but the problem is that iodized salt isn't good either. Iodized salt is stripped of all the other minerals, and you just have straight sodium. So you're running into that same problem. Okay, so what happens with shellfish and why are they so good? Well, the fact is they have an exoskeleton, and that exoskeleton means that they don't end up absorbing a lot of the heavy metals that other fish in the ocean would absorb. They also end up rejecting a lot of the radiation. That exoskeleton does a lot for us. But additionally, they're very, very protein packed, but also they have a short lifespan. And any animal that has a short lifespan has less ability to be absorbing toxic components from the earth or the water. So this means you have a short lifespan creature that is eating high sodium, high mineral foods to begin with, and then you're consuming it. So you're getting that full spectrum of minerals without all the nonsense. The second food on my list is one that you probably would never even expect. Have you ever sat down and just truly tasted Swiss chard? Swiss chard is a nice dark leafy green, but if you taste it, it has quite a salty taste to it. Literally, 1 cup of Swiss chard has between 300 and 400 milligrams of sodium in it already. That's a lot of sodium for a leafy green. And when you think about how you normally cook Swiss chard, you'd usually bring it down and actually steam it, and then it's going to end up reducing in size. So that 1 cup that has 300 milligrams of sodium is realistically more like a quarter to a half cup. And once you distill it down like that, you can truly taste the sodium. So you're looking at a nice balance of not only sodium, but also potassium, magnesium, and some of the other minerals that you need to truly allow your electrical system to function properly. But there's another reason why I like Swiss chard. See, Swiss chard is super high in what is called indole-3 carbinol. Indole-3 carbinol is a heavy hormone modulator. Because Swiss chard is a cruciferous vegetable and it's high in this I3C, it can convert into the body to something known as diindolylmethane, also known as DIM. So indole-3 carbinol, because it's a hormone modulator, has even been shown to reverse prostate damage in men. It's also been shown to reverse or even reduce the incidence of tobacco-related lung cancer tumors. That is powerful stuff, and it shows how powerful it is when it comes down to getting rid of toxins in the body, but also modulating hormones. And for those of us that are just looking for a body composition change, indole-3 carbinol is going to help you drop some of that excess water that's related to estrogen. That's why men that are feeling a little bit puffy might take a little bit of DIM or take a little bit of cruciferous veggies in to drop some of that water. Same thing with women. If you're suffering with menstrual issues or maybe you're going through menopause, you might be a good candidate to be consuming a little bit more in the way of cruciferous vegetables. All right, now let's talk about the next one. This is a food that I almost always put in some kind of diet if I'm ever writing them up. Okay, this is going to be artichokes. Now, artichokes, in addition to being high in sodium, about 150 milligrams in half of an average-sized artichoke head. So you're looking at a fairly good amount, and that's even if you're just consuming the meat off the individual leaves. But of course, sodium is one thing, but this wouldn't be a typical Thomas DeLauer video if I didn't have some additional science to add in the world of artichokes. You see, artichokes are very high in prebiotic fiber, even more so than what we'd find in asparagus or anything like that. And what prebiotic fiber does for us, especially on the ketogenic diet, is it acts as fertilizer for our existing gut bacteria. So if we have a plethora of good bacteria in our gut already, we want that to be multiplied. We want more of that good bacteria. Well, artichokes, being a prebiotic fiber, allow that bacteria to have food. So it's essentially a fertilizer. Probiotics, like something you'd take in a supplement, add bacteria in. Prebiotics, like you'd find in artichokes, feed the existing bacteria. So it's definitely something that we want to do. So I encourage you to utilize these foods as much as possible. Don't just only eat these, but they're a nice staple that you should be adding into your diet if you can. That way you're able to get the balance of sodium and the other minerals that you need to not totally feel like you're just having to dash salt on every single thing that you eat. I promise that if you start implementing these foods and you start watching your sodium intake in a different way from what the FDA has been telling us for so many years, you're going to feel those keto and low carb symptoms just wash away, and they'll never be in your memories ever again. So as always, make sure you're keeping it locked in here on my channel. If you have ideas for future videos, make sure you put them down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.